Greece. A ferry ride prompts poignant questions. Matthew Polly, photographer. From Polly's travel journal in July, my family, including my sons ages 4 and 8, left our home in Turkey to visit Greece. On our way, we boarded a ferry boat that shuttles passengers from Greek islands in the Aegean Sea to Athens on the mainland. Entering a passenger lounge, I wondered why so many people were asleep on couches or slumped in chairs. Soon I learned they were migrants, mainly Afghans, Iraqis, and Syrians, taking the opportunity to get some sleep during their arduous journey to Europe. I speak Farsi, and many of them spoke English, so I heard their stories. They were exhausted from days in makeshift camps on Lesbos and Chios Islands, where they arrived after a dangerous crossing from Turkey. Were they refugees escaping war or simply people looking for a better and safer future? Who can say? But throughout the ferry, I saw travelers drawing strength from each other. A father hugged his young daughter. Nearby, newlyweds tended to their month-old baby, born during their journey. I viewed all this through my camera lens, but also through the experiences of my young sons. As an Afghan man spoke with me, he swept my 4-year-old into an embrace. He could not help hugging my child. He explained because he had to leave his family behind. My 8-year-old, meanwhile, was playing cards with a young Iraqi. The boy said his family left their home because it wasn't safe. My son, shaken, turned to me to help him understand. But how could we explain this tragedy to an 8-year-old when we can hardly make sense of it ourselves? On a ferry boat to Athens, photographer Matthew Polly saw many weary migrants from Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan, including 2 young girls fast asleep on a dining table. Alaska, a new way to measure glaciers retreat. Kit Deslauriers, ski mountaineer. By Daniel Stone, 4 years Kit Deslauriers has been drawn to the wilderness of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and ANWR. She wasn't there for the oil deposits, long its claim to political fame, but to study the area's terrain and specifically its retreating glaciers, in hopes of charting glaciers' change. Deslauriers and colleagues climbed several glaciers with a device designed to use a radar to take measurements. For some reason, Deslauriers joked that she may have stepped on the antennas. The device didn't work. Deslauriers' team returned with new equipment, an airplane, and a grant from National Geographic. This time they would measure glaciers from the air, more efficient than climbing, with a method called aerial photogrammetry. New coordinates helped the team spot changes in the glaciers of even a few centimeters. This allowed them to make much better maps with much lower cost equipment much more quickly, says glaciologist Matt Nolan of the University of Alaska Fairbanks. To verify the data, desloriers climbed and skied two remote peaks, Mount Chamberlain, long believed to be the tallest mountain in the U.S. Arctic, and Mount Isto. One surprising thing her measurements showed: Mount Isto is actually taller by more than 70 feet. Basic instincts, gentle disquisition on love and lust in the animal kingdom. Her wreck versus his. Obviously, scientific accuracy is important, but did a zoo's website have to upend a beloved Christmas folktale by publishing this sentence? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer must have been a female? Now, compose yourselves. This all can be explained. Rangifer tarandus includes the caribou of North America and the reindeer of Eurasia. Reproductive biologist Peter Flood of the University of Saskatchewan, Canada, says it is the only deer species in which both sexes grow antlers, and in which annual shedding cycles separate the bulls from the cows. In spring, both sexes begin to grow antlers that, by fall, harden to bone. Flood says the adult males' antlers are rightly called weapons of sex, used to drive off other bulls in rut. Once the cows are pregnant, adult bulls' testosterone levels drop, triggering a bone cell change that makes their antlers fall off, usually in November or December. Young males keep their antlers somewhat longer, but pregnant cows keep their wrecks all winter and into spring, the better to fend off threats and guard feeding sites. Only after they give birth, typically in April or May, do they shed their antlers, which non-pregnant cows did some weeks earlier. So to give Santa's slave pullers their due, let us clarify. Reindeer still antlered on Christmas Eve may be adolescent males, but could very well be females, and pregnant ones at that. Patricia Edmonds. Habitat range: tundra and taiga zones of Eurasia and North America. Conservation status: least concern. Other facts: climate warming in Rangifer tarandus range causes more melting and re-icing of snow, making it harder for them to dig for food. National Geographic Photo Arc. Joel Sartor. This female reindeer was photographed at the Miller Park Zoo, Bloomington, Illinois.